What's up, guys? Ryan Pineda here. If this is your first
Scene one, Apple, take two.
We go over all things business, entrepreneurship, real estate. So thank you.
What's up, guys? Ryan Pineda here. So, if you didn't see, Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast again. And let's just say last time he was on it, he made some headlines.
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things? There's tobacco and marijuana in there. That's all it is.
Then a few days before this podcast, he made more headlines on Twitter, tweeting like a madman. I think he's the only CEO in history to ever say his stock was too high. He's calling for America to open up again, which once again, you're not seeing many CEOs step out and say something like that. It's not politically correct to have that kind of opinion right now.
Social justice, 1, 2, 3. I wanna be PC.
And then also, he said he's gonna sell all of his personal possessions and that his girlfriend is not too happy about it.
Say what?
The other reason I was interested in this podcast was purely selfish. After Elon made the tweet about the stock price being too high, understandably, the stock dropped. And being an investor, I decided I'm gonna buy some. I've always believed in Tesla as a company. I think that they are going to be the future, but I ended up buying some shares. It wasn't a crazy amount of shares, but it wasn't insignificant. Another reason I was interested was I've pre-ordered the Model Y. Tesla just started delivering these vehicles and they look amazing. I've been watching reviews on YouTube, getting hyped for it. I'm super excited to get one because I've always wanted a Tesla, but I've never wanted to drop $100,000 on a car. So the Model Y being much more affordable than the Model X is something that I've been waiting for. Also, like everyone else, I pre-ordered the Cybertruck. Will I ever buy it? I don't know. It was only $100 to pre-order, so what's the harm in doing it? I'm still not even sure how I feel about it. I just want to reserve my spot in line like everyone else. The other reason I've been very interested in this interview is I just read a book called The Price of Tomorrow. It's by an author named Jeff Booth. I'll talk more about the book later on in this video, but it's very amazing to see what his predictions were before coronavirus and how we're already starting to see some of them play out. So obviously there's a lot of things leading up to this interview that make it very interesting. So this interview is over 2 hours long. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can click the link in the description to go watch it. I'm gonna go over a couple of the main points that I thought were crazy. For the first half of the interview, Elon talks about what the future is going to look like. He throws some shade at Warren Buffett. He talks about artificial intelligence. It's pretty crazy to see what he thinks. And then for the second half of the interview, he transitioned into talking about coronavirus. And how America has overreacted to the virus. So I'm gonna show you guys my favorite clips from the interview on those topics. But before I do that, make sure you guys go smash the like button. Did you smash it? All right, let's get into it.
Let me take Warren Buffett, for example. And to be totally frank, I'm not his biggest fan, but he does like capital allocation, and he reads a lot of sort of annual reports of companies and all the accounting, and it's pretty boring, really. And he's trying to figure out, is Coke or Pepsi deserve more capital? I mean, it's kind of a boring job, if you ask me.
Dang! Starting it off right out the gate, throwing shade at Warren Buffett. He says he's not a big fan of Warren. I haven't heard anyone say they're not a fan of Warren Buffett. Anytime you talk to any investor, any stock trader, real estate investor, businessman, everyone loves Warren Buffett. The dude is giving away all of his money. He never makes a bad investment. He's been doing it forever. He's self-made. He's the Oracle of Omaha.
The Sultan of Swat, the King of Crash, the Colossus of Clout, the Colossus of Clout, Babe Ruth, the Great Bambino.
What is there not to like about Warren Buffett? People can't get enough of him. Personally, I haven't spent a lot of time studying stocks. Mainly my focus has been on real estate investing. Stocks are something that I have not really gotten into other than my investment in Tesla. So I've read up a lot on Warren Buffett because who better to learn from, right? So to hear Elon demean his life work, saying what he does is boring.
I mean, it's kind of a boring job, if you ask me.
I don't know, it's pretty funny actually. I started trading stocks recently once coronavirus happened because they were just so low that if now's not the time to get in, I don't know when is. But I can tell you, it is very boring. I totally agree with Elon. I hate looking at charts and graphs. I enjoy talking about it, but I don't enjoy looking at it and researching it. I don't think Elon enjoys it either. He enjoys just making things and building rockets and cars and solar panels and everything else he does. But Warren, if you're listening to Elon, he says everything you've done up to this point is extremely boring.
Ouch!
All right, so here's another subtle jab at Warren.
And like making a car, it's an honest day's That's an honest day's living, that's for sure.
That building cars is an honest day's work. You know, he goes on to say that somebody's got to build all these things. Somebody's got to actually make all the things that these guys invest in. And he brings up a good point throughout the interview that most smart people tend to go into business and law. Not enough of them are going into manufacturing and science. And it's true. I mean, science is tough. Most of my friends who were straight A students in high school and very intelligent, very few of them actually, I can't even think of any that went into engineering. They all went into business or some type of thing like Elon's talking about, myself included. But I think he's absolutely right. I actually had this debate with one of my friends who trades cryptocurrency. I'm like, what value do you actually bring to the world trading cryptocurrency? Nothing really. I mean, cryptocurrency is a zero-sum game. One person loses, another person wins. That's how it works. You make money or you lose money. It's kind of like gambling.
I got a $100 check from my grandma, and my dad said I need to put it in the bank so it can grow over the years.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
When you look at trading stocks, once again, what kind of value does that actually bring to the world?
Ouch!
I don't think your day trader is really doing anything spectacular. I mean, they're getting rich and making money. That's cool. But what are they really doing? Now, a guy like Warren Buffett, on the other hand, I think he's a little different, right? He's making all this money. He's giving it away. He's doing great things, you know? And I also realize that these big companies need all this capital to do the great things that, you know, add value to the world. So financiers and traders have their place. I understand that. But the act of what they do is not really creating value. I agree with Elon. You know, the guys who are actually creating products and trying to change the world, those are the people that are adding tremendous value. And Joe acknowledges that in the interview, where you've got one guy who's gotten ultra rich just trading stocks and investing, and one guy who's gotten ultra rich by literally changing the entire world. And he'll continue to change the world. So I'm with Elon on that one. So here's two concepts that are really interesting to me.
Save state. And
Save state?
Save state, like save your brain state, like a saved game in a video game.
Whoa. like if you want to swap from Windows 95 to like you
probably a little bit than that, but yeah.
So this concept of the save state, that you're going to save your mind and be able to go put it in something else. I don't know that I believe that. You know, last time he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, he talked about maybe we're all living in a simulation. I don't believe that, but you know, he's talking about other theories for how we have consciousness, and it's weird. I'll say that. But he does bring up something I agree with on this whole brain interface.
What are we going to be?
Like when?
25 years from now, what are we going to be?
Well, assuming civilization is still around. It's looking fragile right now. In 25 years, probably something, I would think there could be a whole brain interface.
What does that mean to you? Like when you say AI extension of yourself?
Well, you, like I said, you already have a computer extension of yourself in your phone. And now online, it's like somebody dies, there's like an online ghost. That they're still, their online stuff is still alive.
That's a good way to put it. It is weird when you read someone's tweets after they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram and their stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And whatever, Facebook and stuff. You know, like
that's a great way to put it. It's like an online ghost.
He brings up this point of what happens after you die with your social media. All the articles about you, everything about you is on the cloud. And he says eventually people's lives will be more so on the cloud than they will be in real life. And I've been saying that for a while. I tell the people in my real estate brokerage when I'm training them on how to use social media, I tell them that unfortunately, we live in a world where social media is the real world and the real world is fake world. You know, people only believe what they see on social media, and it's sad, but that is the way the world is headed. You know, it's like we all know what everyone around us is doing, and if somebody's not posting on social media, we think they like died or something. We think that their life probably isn't going too well if they're not posting, and that's the type of world we live in now. It's weird. You can accept it and, you know, live with it and embrace it and use it to your advantage, or you can rebel against it and say that's not right, and you're gonna be passed by. That's the reality of it. You're gonna leave a ghost of yourself online. You know, it's interesting because when you look at the past, there is a ghost of people from the past. They're written about, they're spoken about, you know, they're very mythological. But now that ghost is is going to be very real. You know, we have videos of everything. So I definitely am a firm believer in this online ghost. Like, it will continue to grow that way. Which brings me to the book I referenced earlier, The Price of Tomorrow. It is one of the top 3 books I've ever read. I cannot recommend it enough. You need to go buy it and read it. The author, Jeff, talks about how deflation is happening in the economy, and it's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing like people would think. So many people are scared of hyperinflation because the government is printing so much money, but deflation is happening far quicker than we can print money. The reason for deflation is through technology. When we look at all the things that we own today, the cars, the cell phones, the TVs, the electronics, all of those things used to cost a lot of money. When we look at just what I was talking about with the Model Y, I've been waiting to buy a Tesla, but I didn't want to go spend $100,000. Well, now they're producing these Model 3s and these Model Ys for $40,000 if you get the cheapest model. That's crazy. And that's the way our world is headed, where everything is going to be driven down in price. The reason that those things are able to happen is due to technology getting better and artificial intelligence. I'm not gonna give my whole summary on the book. Maybe I'll do another video on that. If you want me to do another video on that, you comment below and I'll make a full book review on all my thoughts on that book. It's so amazing. For the second half of the interview, I'm not gonna go super in depth on it. It was a lot about how, you know, Elon doesn't believe that the coronavirus was handled the right way. As evidenced by his tweet, he wants America to open up again. I think everyone at this point is kind of on that train too. You know, I think a month ago, we were all very scared and cautious of what was going on. And then as we are in May, many people are just pent up and ready to move on. And I think we can see that it's not as bad as we probably thought it was. And Elon brings up a couple of good points about how the mortality rate is skewed. And I'm not going to get into all those different ways because I don't even know if it's accurate or not. I don't want to fact check it. He does bring up a funny thing about the news though.
Like, what do you think's the best source of just like information out there? Like,
That's a good question.
You know, like, let's say you're just like average citizen trying to just get the facts, you know, figure out what's going on, you know, how to live your life, and, you know, just looking for what's going on in the world. That it's hard to find something that isn't, that's good.
But I'm with him. If you want to find out the real information, I wouldn't even know where to check, to be honest. Fake news is a real thing. So it's funny that they both acknowledge that. But overall, it was a great interview. I think him hating on Buffett's pretty funny. I agree with a lot of the stuff he said about coronavirus. I'm not sure I can get behind some of his AI theories, but
oh, come on, man.
You know, Elon's always going to give you a totally different perspective than anyone else. He's putting his ideas out there, and he's putting big optimistic things, probably with unrealistic timelines, though he did release the Model Y earlier than expected. I think that's the first time in any of his predictions they've come quicker than he said. I'm a big fan of Elon and everything he's doing. I'm also glad as an investor he didn't say anything crazy on the interview. I give the interview an A+, 5 out of 5 stars. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this content, make sure you subscribe. If you want to get in touch with me, you can go follow me on my other social media channels. I'm very responsive. Shoot me a DM, and I look forward to talking with you.